What's going on, guys? Outlaw Donkey back with another one. I got a pretty sincere topic I want to talk about today, and I'll get into that here in a second. But first I want to tell you that I'll make these videos raw, and I don't really plan them ahead. I don't write stuff down. I think of stuff throughout the day, but I don't write it down because I like speaking from my heart. Because what most of y'all don't know is while you think I'm speaking to you, mainly I'm speaking to myself also. And I want to use my words to myself to help encourage y'all. Alright, so the topic I want to talk about today is love, loss, and heartbreak. And you guys that know me close know this one. You might see old Donkey get pretty emotional on this one. But, man, one of the biggest setbacks and hardest things to deal with in life is loss. It don't matter if we're talking about a loved one that you love dearly passing away, or a relationship that you've had your heart set on a certain person for an extended amount of time, and you come to find out in the end that it didn't work out like it was supposed to. It didn't work out like you planned it. It didn't work out like you imagined in your head over and over and over again. See, dealing with a heartbreak or loss in any sort of fashion, it can be devastating, and it can completely ruin a person. It takes a very strong individual to work past a heartbreak. Now, you'll notice in this video that I'll lean towards relationship a lot, because one of the biggest things that affected me, put me in my darkest times, was I depended too much on another person to help me find my happiness. See, that's a big mistake that people find in relationships, is they get into a relationship before they're happy with themselves, before they even know who they are. I honestly believe that before you can be happy with someone, you have to be happy with yourself. You should not depend and become a dependent on another person to find your happiness. And a lot of people do that and they don't even realize it. And it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you weak if you're doing that. But what it makes you semi-blind. Because no matter what that person does, you'll try to adapt to them to make yourself happy. You'll try to be what they want you to be, so that way you can continue to make them happy. But think about it. If you go into a relationship knowing exactly who you are, knowing that you don't want to change yourself for anybody, and you are proud of who you are, if that relationship doesn't work out in the end, and you continue to stay proud of what you are and who you are, I really don't think it would hurt that as bad. I don't know from experience, because I've went through one heartbreak and I didn't handle it too well, but I've tried to learn from it and tried to prepare myself for if I get in a relationship when I'm older, or if I love something as I continue to grow, that it doesn't devastate me if it doesn't happen the way I plan it. I realize that everything falls into happen like it's supposed to, and everything that does happen in life is going to teach us a lesson. And it's up to us whether we take from that lesson in a positive or negative manner. See, a lot of things can happen. A lot of people can turn to drinking, can turn to drugs, can turn to depression, can turn to anxiety. They just lock themselves in a room and continue to be lost time after time. They want to be found, but they just don't know how, because they depended so much on that person to help them find themselves. Man, that's a big topic for me. I'm telling you. A big part of my life I spent on somebody, and after we broke up, I was angry at them. I hated them. I looked for every reason that there was fault in them. And then I went for periods where I quit blaming them and I only blamed myself. It was like ping pong. I went back and forth. I blamed her, I blamed me, I blamed her, I blamed me. No matter what somebody had to be at fault, it couldn't just be that that's what it is. It wasn't meant to be. That was a stepping stone in life to get towards where I initially need to be. I can't stress that enough. And it's going to be very hard when you're in the moment. And I'm not saying don't love with everything you got. I'm not saying don't care about something with your entire heart. But what I'm saying is don't expect something to last forever, because you will be devastated when that happens. And even if you do get to the point where you're devastated, please, I beg you, from the bottom of my heart, I beg you, don't let that devastation change you as a person. Stay true to yourself and realize that it's not you why the relationship didn't work out. It might have been things that you've done because you're lost, or you make mistakes. We're all human. I make maybe more mistakes than anybody else you've ever known. Just don't let that devastation ruin you. Don't become something you're not because you don't know how to handle your problems. You don't know how to handle hurt. You don't know how to handle loneliness. See, before I get off here, I want to say one more thing about loneliness. Loneliness is the most challenging thing on this planet. But it could be a savior also. If you get to a point where you're so lonely and you hit rock bottom and you don't even want to hug yourself, that can do two things. It can ruin you. But if you keep this positive mindset that plays into a chain reaction like I've been talking about, that loneliness can kickstart you. When you're at rock bottom, you can reach a point where you have had enough, that you were going to take control and you were going to figure out what put you at rock bottom. And that's what I've done. And that's what I want to see you guys do. Alright guys, I'm going to get off here. That was a very heartfelt topic for me. Alright, so remember, Outlaw Donkey. If you like what I talk about, hit up my YouTube channel, Outlaw Donkey Motivation. If not, tell a friend about it. It might help them. Alright guys, remember, please let me motivate you for 5 minutes so you can dedicate yourself to the rest of your life. Alright guys, midnight shift is calling me. Have a good night.